Hello, this is Duntov. So today I'm at the Future Hard Rock site. It is Monday, August 4th, 2027. So as you can see, I'm on a different spot. I'm on the Treasure Island parking deck. I haven't been on this side since they tore out the atrium. All right, they're offloading a porta potty. So, last time I think I was up here, they were doing the atrium and stuff, which would have been kind of in this area here. So of course we all know the atrium's gone. So now that the guitar tower is getting up over the top of this parking structure, we could see a little different view of what's going on. So right now it is 6:10 a.m. Let me pan a little to the right. The sun is not up yet. I mean, it's up, but we can't see it on this side. When I was out here last week, the sun was like behind me or in front of me when I was on the Caesars deck, and it was just kind of hard to see. All right, so we can see though over here, you can see the sun shining onto the building here. So let me zoom in and we'll see what we can see from this side here. All right, so we got we'll say the front tower crane. That would be the east crane. That's the one right along Las Vegas Boulevard. That's the one we just saw lower the porta potty, and now I don't know how well we're going to be able to see it, but you can see they're lowering the cable over there right behind that palm tree. Alright, now he's going back up. Alright, so from this side though, we can see all the different levels, and we can see how the shoring has been removed out of some of these levels here. I'm just trying to follow along to see what this crane's doing here. We haven't seen this side really ever, because I haven't been on this side since they made this, since they went up this far. All right, so people have been asking about, when are we going to start seeing the shape of the guitar? So if we look over here, this might be the answer. You can see how the rebar cages are going off right there. So to me, if I zoom out a little bit, we can see that looks like that's going to be the start of the shape of the guitar, where it's going to like get the rounded shape there. So because if you didn't know, from this view we're going to be looking at the side of the guitar. The skinny edge of the guitar is going to be the side facing the strip and facing the old Mirage building here. So this appears to be like that's what it's going to be now, is that's going to hold the, or not hold, but that's, you know, starting to come out on that end. It's getting a little breezy here today. You can see the palm trees blowing around here, so yeah, the breeze just picked up a lot. Seems like every level they have, like, you can see how these forms, these crooked forms, and I recall seeing them every level. I'm just wondering what exactly that would be. You know, I don't know if the forms are just sitting like that for now, or if they're actually casting some kind of, you know, concrete at that angle, but it is pretty much every level there, they have it like that. So I'm assuming this will be like an elevator core. That would be my guess. I would say this is the elevator cores, and then on both sides of that, this is probably a stairwell. We have the one here, and then to the right of this also we got the one over here. So I would say these are stairwells here, and the middle is the elevator core. Waiting to see if the cranes, this back crane, the west crane, it hasn't been moving yet. And I do not see the arms for any of the concrete pumps. Last week when I was here, it was on this side. And then they also have one that sometime is mounted over here on this side. It would be like right, I think it's that one. Alright, I'm going to move down to the other corner here, see if we can see a little different view. So I'm gonna move on down a little. All right, before I move on down, this is what I want to show here. So you can see right here, you can see the one fan like spinning around there. So this is like the original HVAC area. So I'm curious now, since they put that new HVAC building on the other side of the property, if they're gonna tear this stuff out and maybe build, you know, build something else for the hotel casino area. So I'll keep an eye on that to see if they do something like that. But then I want to show that they still have these statues sitting over here. If you ever been to the Mirage when it was open, they had the, I know they had them out front. You can see all the dolphins right there. So being that these are all still on property, I'm thinking they're gonna, you know, incorporate these somewhere again on property. Could it be by the pool area, or not sure, but the dolphins are still here, so I'm thinking they're saving them for some reason, that they'd be reused. And then we even have some of the old statues. So my guess is that these will be used again on property. we'll have to see once they reopen. All right, let me move down a little bit. All right, as I was moving down, I did see that they have a form over here on this front crane. You could see a couple of the crew members getting it ready to put around the rebar cage there. So they're getting all this next level, they're getting all the forms up so they could start putting some more columns in. So you can see, you know, pretty much they're building all these columns like you see over here on these different levels. So yeah, so they got that in place really quick. Alright, I just moved to the other corner here. We can see the sun is coming up against the gold glass there. So we can just see a little bit over this lower part of the parking deck. It gives a good view of the different levels here that are going up. Alright, so we can see on this end they don't have all the, they're still putting like the, you can see the columns there, the forms. So if I had to guess, I would say on this end they'll put some of the forms and we'll start seeing the shape, you know, put them out at that angle like they did on the other side there. Let me pan over and we'll see the, show you what I'm talking about again from this side. There you go there. So this is kind of a straight on view. We could see how the rebar cages are going out to make a shape, to make that rounded curve of the side of a guitar. Sorry for the shake, just zoomed in so far. Alright, we can see this back crane. They just start moving. They're moving something down, and then the front crane already has another one of these forms going back up. The wind is really picking up again now. Sorry for the shake, that's actually some of the wind blowing the camera around. So if you see, you can see how the top of that rebar cage, how he's kind of moving some of that rebar around to get it underneath there and get that in place. Alright, so we get a pretty good view from over here. I'll have to start coming up here more often. I'm going to go down on the strip level. We're going to go look from that view, see what else we could see. So I'll see you guys soon. Alright, I am now standing at the Venetian here across the street. And you get a good view. You can see the lit up, see how reflective this the old Mirage building was with this gold glass. If the sun's coming up and you're driving, it would be really bright. So you had this place, the Mandalay Bay, and even the Luxor. Sometimes the way the light would hit it, very bright. Alright, so let's try to look. I could see some people working up here on these upper levels that we were looking at earlier. So this is the other perspective now. And those are the rebar we can see again. Sorry for the shake, but you can see how it's starting to go out that way. So I haven't noticed that where you could see that person walking down the stairs there. I'm surprised they don't have like a man lift, the elevator they put in for them. I don't see one, at least on this side. So it's looking like they all have to take the stairs as of right now. Alright, so one thing I noticed that I didn't notice before, I'll get a better shot of it as I move on down, but we can see right there now. Penta actually has a banner on the front over there, so we'll head on down, we'll see what's up. And if we look over here, this is a good view. You can see it looks like 3 excavators down there. That is where they tore out that lower building. And that one actually got the jackhammer on the end. Alright, if you look at these excavators here, you see they say Miller on them. So Miller was also who helped the demolition at the Tropicana. Remember, it was GGG and then Miller. So they have a couple good contracts here with this place and then the whole, Mirage demolition. He's going to end up going right behind where we can't see what they're doing. Grinding something there. Or I don't know what I see. Saw some sparks or fire. I don't know. Is he grinding something or I don't know. Oh yeah. Of course, we got that lamppost light right there, but just trying to see what them sparks were. Alright, so when I was on the Treasure Island Bridge, I was saying how I thought these might be stairwells here, but now that I'm looking, I thought this middle structure would be the elevator core and these were stairwells, but if we look at each level now, we could see what appears to be where elevator doors will go. So I would guess now that these are elevator cores. You can see the one person right there, but if I had to guess now, I would say elevator core there. Alright, I'm gonna move down a little bit, try to get a little better straight on view of this. Alright, we got the sun coming up there. I want to show their, looks like they're moving one of the floor platforms here. I'm just wondering if this back crane is going to lift it up into place there. Got the back crane. It looks like it's, I can't tell. Oh yeah, it looks like they're starting to hook something up. Alright, hopefully the background music isn't too loud. Alright, we'll keep an eye on this, see if they start lifting it into place. Okay, so here's a better view of the banner they put up for Penta. Then All Fives Construction, I don't know that one. I never heard of All Fives Construction. So Penta and All Fives Construction. And then I want to got a little clearer view now, try to see what's going on back here. That back crane, they just swung it over with nothing, so they must be moving those platforms. They must have been unhooking it instead of hooking it up, so they just swung that around. So let's see if we could see if it doesn't. Yeah, it looks like they're lowering the cable down. keep an eye on them. Alright, I just moved down, so the music is really loud behind me, so if you end up hearing my duntov music in the background, you'll know why, because it means it picked up some copyrighted music. Alright. I'm curious why they have all the shoring on the bottom still. I mean, one theory that I have, because obviously the concrete's got to be cured enough, because you know that's the first thing poured. I guess what I'm thinking it is just to keep all the construction equipment from like going under there and doing stuff like that. You know, because being such a big space, it'd be easy for one of those big pieces of equipment like that loader right there to be able to go under, and I guess to keep it from getting damaged. Could be totally wrong. Anyone knows, let us know in the comment, but I'm thinking it's just to keep it kind of blocked off so nothing's going through there, because the whole bottom level is like that still. So that's my theory. Alright, this big crane does have something on it now. Let's follow it around and see what we got. Looks like some kind of steel. Or is that wood? Might have been wood. Maybe something for some forms. Actually, talking about that shoring, it kind of looks like they might be removing some of it from this back area. You can see right there, it's like, looks like they're pulling out stuff from up there. As you can see right there, how they could like, see, he's pulling that out now. So if you look where this guy in the yellow is standing, you can see how they could like, it's kind of like the jack where they could lower it a little bit right there. And that's what it appears like they're doing now, is moving that stuff out. Okay, so I would say next time I'm out here, that shoring back there by that back crane there, that's gonna be out. Alright, I guess that's all we got for today, so it's getting higher, and it appears like we're starting to see the excuse me, starting to see the shape of the guitar on the side closest to the old Mirage building, and these forms right on this level should start coming out soon to do the same. And if you're not subscribed and you would like to keep getting updates on this build here, please subscribe to my channel, Raiders1967, to get updates on this build as well as the new athletics ballpark going in at the old Tropicana site. And then football season is starting, so I also like to put some of my Raiders experiences. I just put this past Sunday, they had the open practice at the Allegiant Stadium, so check that out. It's pretty cool. It was like a mock game. They had the silver versus the black, you know, playing each other. So it was a really big turnout for a training camp, so check that out. Anything you like about the video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. I like reading through all those. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I will talk with you guys next time.